Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the D&N Show here on D&N TV. And today I am one half of the undisputed tag team champions of the internet, D-Nag. And today I'm going to be talking about WWE SummerSlam's match card and my predictions. As of time of recording this, it is tomorrow. And we are going to be talking about the Madden 25 updates that we got this week. So let's get right into it. All right. So first I'm going to talk about the Madden 25 updates and what we got. I went and did just a little list to cover what we got. And to me, it sounds like EA might have started cooking with this game, with Madden 25. So the updates we got to franchise mode include an updated NFL draft experience, personality and dynamic management, team builder in Madden, finally after asking for it for years, and other updates. So the updated NFL draft experience includes said they updated the draft experience to be more authentic. In other words, players that get drafted meet the commissioner. There is a new draft prospect board that updates in real time, and you see their projections, and it's easier to find players with the best kind of abilities that you want them to have, such as like 99 speed. If you want to find that player, you can do it pretty fast. So I'm curious to see how that turns out, and if it is easier, which is nice because really when I've seen that when you draft people, you don't really see anything in the last Madden as far as I know. I mean, you see the draft room, but the draft stage, but it'll be nice to see that the new, the players go up and meet him and whatnot. And if it is a faster and easier way to search through the prospect board. And there's also in-depth analysis when you draft a player and afterwards. It gives you more analysis whether you did good or bad in the draft. But I'm curious to see how it goes. And obviously, it'll be nice to see. But next, we have the personality and dynamic management. Now, they added new coaching situations in, like dealing with trade rumors, guiding off-season workouts, and defining your team's culture, which really gives you more of a feel of what the coaches go through and how they have to deal with it, such as you have to deal with your... You have to consider your players' needs and their actions and what they require. Like, for instance, if a receiver wants more touches and you don't give it to him, you will lose trust in that play. The player will lose trust in you. Or if you manage to get them those stats that they want, they will gain more trust in you. Defining off-season workouts and such, like... One example they use is on the practice field sidelines, where they will have more situation areas, like I think they said the team meeting room, the team meeting room, and the player practice field, where you can develop players and change stories depending on how you want it, which is really nice to add that other certain dynamic, which I know in the last Madden they had press conferences where you challenge your team to do something and whatnot, or whether you taunt or respect your opponent and such. But it'll be nice to see a more in-depth look at some of those situations, but I'm curious to see how that works too. Now, the next news that I am most excited about is the team builder is coming to Madden 25. They did do the same thing. They did do the team builder in the college football 25 game. And I've used the website. I've made a few teams, which it's not too bad. I do like it, and you can have the capabilities of making good teams, but I'd like to see a lot of a lot of option. Me personally, I would like to see a lot more like options in there and design features, but obviously you can't go absolutely batshit crazy, but you can still make some pretty good teams. And it's a lot. It's when the website works, it's nice, but sometimes it can be a little slow and be a little off and glitch. But I mean, there's not much you can really do about that part. But I'm curious to see how they do it, whether it's similar to college football, one where it's like on a website and then you download it, or whether it's like in the game itself, where it's a menu that you can go and do, which I would assume it's going to be like the college football team builder, where it's on a website and you do it on there and you download it, which would be totally fine with me. I just want to see a couple little different like styling options to me personally, but we'll see what they give us. And I mean, and in the case of like relocation teams, especially, like I did see that the main like basic relocation teams will be available as well, but I've always kind of wanted a team builder back in the game like they used to have, but I'm really excited for it, which is like, because it's always been like they use the same basic relocation teams if you want to relocate, which it's fine, but you really kind of want that certain, like, you want a team and you have ideas that you want to put it down, which is nice that they're bringing it back, and hopefully they keep it in the game. Hopefully they don't remove it again, get rid of that feature. I hope it's for years to come. I hope it stays that way on like a team builder, but we'll see. The other couple updates they have is that they have more than 1,400 new team and rookie records, like the rookie single season passing yards, and single season rush yards and whatnot, which would be really nice to see, like how if you have a rookie that's doing really well, to see if he's capable of breaking some of those records or not. And which is nice. It's just kind of one of those little small paying attention to details, because sometimes you have rookies that could possibly do really well and sometimes you don't. They now added female created coach models in the game. So you not only can you create a male coach, but you can also create a female coach, which is an interesting idea, especially because you see we've seen it sometimes that there are starting to get female coaches into the game, into NFL, which is an interesting change, which I'm neither here nor there about it, but it's like I said, it's all the little details about it. Revamped player progression that allows players to advance and progress into stars faster, which should be interesting depending, because to me, under their in-depth look at franchise, it looked like it was kind of similar to the same thing as they have been doing, which is okay. It's not bad. But I'm curious to see how they revamped it, in a sense. They have new turnover celebrations, overhauls. New turnover celebrations, and overhauled the Super Bowl celebration to include the commissioner and, I think, Hall of Famer Randy Moss, which is nice, because that's a nice thing to see, because it's been the same Super Bowl celebration, which, I mean, it's just one of the things where normally sometimes you don't look at it, sometimes you do, but it's nice to see that they just added those little changes to it. And new broadcast teams. They added they set up 4 different broadcast teams, I think, which is a good dynamic to change so you don't hear the same people every game over and over and over and over again. As long as I think they also talked about there's different football sounds, and that they took the crowd noise from recorded footage, which gives it a little bit of a different sound. And I know, and I'm not going to get into the whole tackling thing that they did to see, to have different players, because I didn't go into and analyze that, but I'm really For once, I'm really excited to see how this game turns out, because it does sound, like I said, it does sound like they cooked a little bit with the Madden 25. So we'll see, and we'll cover here on D&N, on the D&N show. We'll cover more once they update more about it, and we'll let you guys know. So moving on, we are going to get into the 2024 SummerSlam match card, and I'm going to be giving my predictions on who I think is going to win and who I think's not. So first, I'm going to go over CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with a special guest referee, which is a special guest referee match, and Seth Rollins is that special guest referee. I feel like McIntyre should get the win, considering how many times Punk has screwed him over. But obviously Punk is trying to look like one of those good stars again, so I wouldn't be surprised if Punk wins, but I personally think that Drew McIntyre is going to win for the sense of, like I said, how many times he screwed him over. It'd be nice to see McIntyre get some sort of retribution for it, besides just beating the ever-living piss out of him. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting match, especially to see the special guest referee dynamic with Seth. I think he's going to cost somebody the win, which I feel like he's going to cost Punk the win ultimately. But, and like I said, and I also wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. If Seth costs McIntyre the match, but I think that McIntyre is going to win. Next, we're going to cover the World Heavyweight Championship match, Damian Priest versus Gunther. I do think that Damian Priest is going to come out with the win. Especially because it's going to be the same thing where I feel like something's going to start to happen where Judgment Day continues to help him win. But this time I feel like he's going to see it and he's going to hate it a little more, because I do feel like Judgment Day is heading towards a change. What that change is yet, mainly like Finn Balor turning on the Judgment Day, is what I can see to be more likely. But I don't feel like they take the title off of Priest just yet, even though Gunther is King of the Ring and he had a record-setting run with the Intercontinental Championship. So even then, I don't see that Priest loses the title yet, in my eyes. But I could also, like I said, and I can see two sides of it, because I can see that something like Finn Balor costs Damian Priest the championship and Gunther winning, and then the Judgment Day turning on somebody like Finn Balor. I can see that happening. But I can also, like I said, I can also see that Damian Priest eventually starts to question whether they are actually listening to him or not. But I'm predicting that Damian Priest is going to win. Then we have the WWE Women's Championship, Bayley versus Nia Jax. Bayley, I feel like Bayley's going to win, but it could also, this one's a weird one, because their new alliance with it says her new alliance with Tiffany Stratton could give her an edge against fighting champion Bayley. However, I could see Tiffany Stratton cashing in, but not necessarily if Nia Jax wins. She wouldn't. But if Bayley retains, I could see Nia Jax cashing in. Or if Bayley wins, I could see Tiffany Stratton cashing in and taking the title. But seems like that would be a little too soon. But I'm gonna say that for the interest of the storyline, I'm gonna say that Nia Jax is gonna beat Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. Because having the title like that, and then having the money, you being allied with the Miss Money in the Bank, or Women's Money in the Bank, whatever, would be an interesting story to go through to see, like, to be, like, right there and be like, don't cash in, but then she does, would be an interesting story. So I think Nia Jax is going to take that one. Next is the Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. I personally would like to see Liv Morgan retain at SummerSlam, mainly because it would be kind of pointless to have Liv Morgan go on this whole revenge tour just for Rhea to come back in her first match. She takes the title back. I mean, because I especially feel like somebody's going to get involved with the match. Obviously, it's the Judgment Day. Somebody's going to get involved, but who that is curious, because obviously Dominic Mysterio is going to probably come out with Rhea. Whether he stays sided with Rhea or whether he turns on Rhea is a different story. But I do definitely think that somebody else is going to get involved, part of the Judgment Day too. But Liv Morgan, I would like to see retain this and just keep the storyline going or keep advancing, because the whole Liv Morgan Revenge Tour thing has been pretty good in my eyes, and I eventually see that the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour takes the Judgment Day from Rhea, to be honest. Which would be an interesting thing, because then you'd be really progressing with taking everything that Rhea cares about. Especially because they've been questioning why she wants to protect Jay so much and have them not face him and not beat him up. Which is interesting. And which is why I feel like eventually the Judgment Day is going to turn and leave an opportunity for Liv Morgan to come in. And it'd be Liv Morgan, Mysterio, Finn, JD, and Carlito. Which would be interesting to see how they do that. But Liv Morgan's going to retain. Next is the United States Championship, Logan Paul versus LA Knight. LA Knight is going to win the United States Championship, I feel like. Mainly because how much he's been haunting Paul for months. Like, he broke into Paul's mansion to use a swimming pool, pinned Paul in a Money in the Bank qualifier match. And, yeah. So I feel like LA Knight's just been on that role against Paul so much that I feel like he's going to take the title from Logan, especially because Logan hasn't been on TV too much. And he hasn't really done anything since winning the United States Championship. I mean, aside from beating KO and Randy Orton in that match, obviously, but I just feel like it's time to take the United States Championship off of Paul and let him do other things in WWE, and give LA Knight a run to win his first main roster title. Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov. I don't think that Braun is going to win, however. I mean, he could. But considering how, like, violent he's being, I feel like he loses this match for like getting disqualified or something along those lines and being sent to SmackDown, because he's been a nuisance for the Raw general manager for quite a while. So I feel like he does something to, like, severely cost this match, and then he eventually gets sent to SmackDown. So otherwise, it's going to get, like, just called off or disqualified, and Sami Zayn's going to retain. But That's how I think it's gonna go. But obviously it'll be interesting to see. But especially in a match with those three, it's gonna be nice. And the final match that I'm gonna cover is the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Solo. Cody Rhodes obviously is going to win the title, or retain the title back. Solo's not going to win. However, once Solo loses, the bloodline that he's running with now is going to come out, and they're going to beat up on Cody even after he wins. And then I'm hoping that Roman Reigns comes out. Maybe even Jimmy Uso. But I would not... They would give Roman the loudest pop in absolute insanity when he comes back, even though people wanted Cody to win the title. That would be ballistic. I mean, not even in a sense of going after Cody, just going after Solo, because of how much crap he's been talking about Roman since he's been gone. Saying that Roman needs to acknowledge him as his tribal chief is just nuts. And that rivalry's bound to happen. Roman versus Solo, which I'm here for it. Especially if Roman comes back, because it's been a little different since Roman left, but it hasn't been obviously as good when he's, and it's been better when he's there. In those times that he kind of took a lot of hiatus time and then showed back up. But even then, you were there watching it. That's the point of Roman's run, was to hate him relentlessly because of how dominant he was. And now that he's gone, it's just wow. And especially because I don't think Solo's going to win, for the sense of they haven't really done anything noteworthy for Cody Rhodes to be champion, which they need to, and I feel like it's just one of those long, drawn-out things where it'll happen eventually. But yeah, Cody Rhodes will retain, and Roman Reigns is going to come back and try to beat up Solo. But I do feel like they're going to beat Roman up, and then Jimmy's, and I can see it, but it's just going to be a big stare-down kind of thing, I think, to end the night. I don't think it's going to be a big brawl, but maybe we even see Cody Rhodes stand back up and side with Roman against the Bloodline. Who knows? That'd be interesting. But yeah, that's overall. Those are my predictions for SummerSlam tomorrow, and obviously next week I'll go over SummerSlam on the next episode of the D&N Show and see what happened, see what I thought, see how it goes. So, all in all, that's going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. As always, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications. As always, as we say here on D&N TV, stay classy, don't be trashy, and enjoy the rest of your day. Deuces!